Generally speaking, when we hear the term PK in sales training and in onboarding new hires, it generally refers to product knowledge, meaning the ins and outs or the features and benefits that your product or service provides to your customers. There are 4 other PKs that constitute what it takes to invest in and support your top performers. Product knowledge represents one table leg that supports top performers. The other 3 are program knowledge. How do you take your product or service to market? What's your program? Process knowledge. What and how do you do what you do? Meaning, what are your measurements? What are your metrics? Your CRM? What is your process to fulfill orders? The 4th element is people knowledge. Being intimate with who your customers are is certainly one element. The other is being perfectly aware and honest about your skills and abilities. That helps identify the training needs and gaps that will prop up your sales performance. Now, these are the 4 table legs, meaning program, process, product, and people. But this, of course, is 5 PK. The most important PK is formed when these 4 are working together in synergy. Together, they create performance, meaning what does it take to perform, and you have the knowledge of what it takes to perform. That's what separates those who want to attain quota and those who are consistently achieving and or overachieving. It's the difference between organizations that invest in and retain their top talent and companies that constantly experience turnover. Let's begin with product knowledge. According to a recent Gartner survey, 74% of executive buyers feel salespeople focus on their product way too much. Does this mean we cut back on product training? Certainly not. This simply means how we grow our sales teams in terms of performance suggests we frame our product knowledge in terms of outcomes, value that merit consideration. Most product training has a heavy emphasis on features and benefits. It will describe things like dimensions and available colors. If we take it one step further, perhaps we'll begin to amplify not only features like simple to use short keys or the lightweight design, but also the benefit of those features. Typical product training is heavily weighted towards the product or service being the hero of the story. Here's a different approach we take in organizing how we deliver product knowledge training and how it really should be presented. Let's briefly explore Leverage Consulting's Merit model. The first consideration in Merit is M, which of course stands for money. We need to demonstrate beyond the straight line transactional nature of cost, what value does our offering provide the customer? Training should focus less on price point and more on value. In simpler terms, will it save them money and or will it make them money? The E in Merit is energy. How much effort and resources will your customer need to deploy to adopt your product? How easy will it be for them to use and adapt to your product? In other words, we should focus on the minimization of effort your customer will need to expend. Ease of implementation and ease of use can, at times, sell your product for you. The R in Merit is relationship. Sometimes, how a customer views a sales rep strongly influences how they perceive your product or service. Building relational components into your product knowledge training means to make it relatable. Can your customers see themselves using your product or service? Can your customers see their need being satisfied with your product or service? Can your customers see the value added by partnering with you, their sales rep? Meaning, will that relationship in and of itself add value to engaging with your company, product, or service? If they feel like they can build a trusting relationship with you, then they will feel like they can build a trusting relationship with your product. The I in merit is for increase. Ultimately, that is a question every product training should answer. How will your product improve the life of your customer, and how will your product training inspire your sales force? Inspiration and belief in your product should absolutely be baked into how you deliver your product knowledge training. The last part of merit is time. How does your product or service save time for a customer, and how does it maximize time for your customer? We should really demonstrate how it creates more time for them to invest into other areas of their business. I love the Ronco infomercials on TV. The line they use is powerful. Set it and forget it. It's not only about saving time, it's also about what could your customers do with the time that you save them. That's what we need to sell. Now that we have a solid understanding of building product knowledge training, let's focus on program knowledge training. On a high level, program knowledge is all about how we take our product to market and how we want it represented and how we want to position ourselves in the marketplace. Program knowledge should include answers to a number of questions. Do we compete on price point? What promotions are we running? Are we high-end, full-service delivery, or do we sell transactionally? How do we want to be perceived in the market? Where do we market and how do we market? What types of sales-related expenses are included? Marketing generally owns this and is encouraged to join in and perhaps even lead this area of training. The other program knowledge piece that is important to every sales rep is lead generation. Program knowledge should include transparent understanding of the initiatives that are being undertaken to generate opportunities. You may have heard sales teams complain about marketing not doing a good enough job to generate leads, which of course leads to marketing complaining that sales, well, they just can't sell. When sales feels involved and understands the process of lead gen, it tends to massage any tension and frustration that historically can mount between these two departments. Harmony between teams can positively contribute to the culture of every organization, and unity is a key contributor to sales performance. Every sales organization has front-end processes to engage customers and back-end processes to fulfill and implement signed customer orders. In most cases, technology allows you to bridge all your processes into one platform. CRMs, or customer relationship management tools, are a perfect example. How you train your staff on technology is vital to the success of the processes that you have carefully crafted and put into place. Why? Well, historically, the nemesis for any salesperson is the paperwork it takes to properly and accurately fulfill an order. Process knowledge should include more than just what button to click and where to enter information. The hows are obvious, but it's the whys that create the buy-in and adherence to guidelines and policies. If we can show and demonstrate why it is important and the benefits thereof, you will find less administrative management taking place by your sales leaders, and then you're free to deploy them to close and win more business. There are two sides to people knowledge. The first is knowledge of and effectively profiling who your customers are. Creating these profiles and allowing your sales reps to be a part of that process significantly increases their confidence when they engage. What titles should they prospect? What size company? What geographic area or industry? Does seasonality play a role? How price conscious are your buyers? Of course, there are so many other variables you can measure to profile your target market. When your sales reps understand how to sell to the typical buyer, they will then be able to grow their skills to reach even the atypical buyer. And this introduces the second side of people knowledge, the sales representatives themselves. Being intimate and honest with what your true capabilities are creates a genuine thirst for additional sales training and development. Generally speaking, the human condition creates excuses for poor performances. If we set the sales performance culture from the outset that suggests personal accountability for one's sales output, you'll find your sales reps will innovatively pursue personal development. Understanding and evaluating gaps in performance creates opportunities for sales leaders to build knowledge bridges that narrow the gap between desired performance and actual output. At the end of the day, sales performance is the one measure that matters most, which means your training, management, and ongoing development requires performance elements baked into it. Program, process, product, and people knowledge, do they all reflect a performance culture in your organization? Does it breed competence and confidence in your sales staff? Our next video is a blend of the best in athletic and entertainment endeavors. Chantel Riley has performed on the largest Broadway stages in the world, and Jeffrey Yateman is one of 3 members of the Canadian triathlon team. Hear what they suggest and how it encompasses the definition of performance. This is how they developed their skill set, mindset, and pressed reset on the limiting habits they broke through to reach the pinnacle in their fields. Top performers never succeed in sales with just one element. Each leg of the 5PK must be accomplished and tied into one another to help achieve greater success with customers. Consistent performance in sales is more than natural skill or luck. It's the result of focusing on the right PK, performance knowledge. If you're ready to shift your sales culture into performance, we can help and we will show you how. Get in touch with us today and find out how we can leverage your performance.